And testing. Checking my mic levels. Everything looks good. Hello, everyone. Let's see here. I don't want to be clipping. Hello, everyone. Live from the northeast rainy part of the United States today. It's a gray, dull, raining day all day long. Yeah, that's where we're at. And I got to warn you, I'm not 100% today. I'm feeling it in my lungs, but there's so much going on that I wanted to go ahead and have this show. It's been quite a while since I started this show and haven't really missed one. But with that said, hey, Audie's World, Elliot, KGM Jam, thanks for dropping by. I do appreciate your time as usual. As KGM says, time is money and time is valuable, and I appreciate it when you stop by and spend some time with me. So on that note, Paul Taylor's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Next weekend, due to Easter, I will not be having a show. I will be taking a trip over with my family and visiting some other families. So I just wanted to get that out of the way first. Do not expect to have a show next weekend. Hello, Gladdy76. Thanks for dropping by. That's a new name. I always love to see new and old names dropping by. Good afternoon to Gladdy, and good evening to, I have some people that sometimes stop by in the Philippines, so I am used to working with people around the world, so I appreciate your time, whether it's the morning, evening, or afternoon. Thanks for dropping by. Sunny in Western Germany. Nice to hear. It's always good to hear. Here, it's just been kind of weird. It's been in that kind of, it's been trying to go into spring, but then it'll drop back down to freezing. And like I said, it's raining out. I do like the rain because obviously we want the spring to get kicked into full bloom with all the plants and everything. But then I hate to see that happen and the flowers start blooming and then a freeze happen. Anyway, this isn't a weather discussion. Anyway, there's been a lot of things happening lately, and just let me know in the chat what you want to start off with. But there have been some, I thought I'd start off today with they've been talking the last few days about the deprecation of the mobile app, and I thought I'd speak for a few minutes on that. It's been a topic. My financial journey. Welcome, happy Saturday. He says, "What's up, guys? Snowing here in New England right now. Spring won't come." I'm not too far from New England. I'm outside Philly, and it's like I said, it's a rainy day in the 40s, mid 40s. So a topic that I've talked about on and off, in my various videos, is about the need for good mobile play. Okay, I think a game in this day and age, especially this type of game, needs good mobile play. And other various games have proven that you can make a good card game on a mobile app, right? But I think where the team is now is it's faced with a smaller development team, and they have to really focus their efforts on a specific thing. So the announcement this last week, and if you caught it, there was a big discussion. I'm pulling it up on Nate. Nate left a discussion, a big long post on X, either this morning, early, or last night, that you might want to catch it if you're on Twitter/X, discussing the whole move to the mobile. I guess the point is, I agree with it. We all agree. If you've tried out the mobile app in the past, it just didn't do what it needed to do. So they're deprecating it, and they are moving some development manpower, as it were, to going ahead and improving the usage of Splinterlands on a mobile browser, right? I use it within the Hive keychain browser. I think that's where the easiest to use it is. You can use it in other regular browsers, but I think I'm going to do a video on it. I mean, I guess if you're just picking up the game, it might be a little bit complicated to set up. But I mean, really, if you're using the Hive keychain app, then just go into the browser section of it and then log in. I think a lot of us have done that before, but it's something that newer players might not know how to do. So I'm thinking about doing a video. Either way, they've talked for the last couple days on various channels about going ahead and putting more manpower and kind of bringing up the quality of the experience on, when you use it on mobile. So I think that's a good place to start. I found that interesting. Let's see here. Gladdy16 says, curious about changes in ranked battles. Try to get as much gold chests as possible until the change. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. We've talked about it. Before the end of the last season, I expended most of my energy, and I'm also going to be doing it now because I had a little bit extra energy build up to get as many chests build up. And I'm just doing it because obviously I want to get the most chests I can that could possibly contain SPS. Because frankly, I think that's going to be the biggest change. Obviously, a lot of us are looking forward to the change. You can focus, you can take your points from here on out. Whatever you earn, and you can save them up for the particular chests. I'm thinking that the card chests are going to be the most popular, right? Because you're not going to be able to get SPS anymore in chests. So that's what I'm focusing on. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not necessarily looking forward to the loss of the SPS. Obviously, they said that with the battles, you will earn a higher amount of SPS when the chests go away, but it remains to be seen how much extra and if it actually accounts for, I think a lot of us looked forward to getting those chests. Obviously, who wouldn't? It's kind of like, it's not kind of like, it's gambling, right? It's having that random opportunity to get that big chest of SPS is going away. And I think that's what pulled a lot of us up. And by me saying a lot of us, I'm talking about people that necessarily weren't fighting for ranked leaderboards or anything like that. We just played, earned a little bit of SPS, and just kind of hoped for that big chest at the end of the season. Well, that's going away. And it remains to be seen how heavily that affects those of us who don't get on the leaderboard as far as how much we can actually take away from the game, And I know it's one of those touchy subjects, right? Because some people will say, "Oh, you just need to play for because it's a game." I'm like, well, I mean, on the flip side, this is something that a lot of us have put thousands and thousands of dollars into. Why not hope for making money back out of it, right? Okay, Ikey says, afternoon all. Welcome. My Financial Journey says, I'm not interested in new Soulbound cards or the Soulbound store. Losing SPS and chests is a huge hit. No more lottery tickets. Yeah, exactly like what I just said. And it'll be interesting to me to see how that actually affects the game, right? Just to be frank, and most people who've listened to my videos know that I'm a pessimist. That's just the way I am. I've been taking steps lately to try and kind of bring myself up and be more into it and everything, but I always look at things from the pessimistic side. And all these big changes, while I kind of like the idea where it's headed, it just always, these big changes always lead to me making less money out of the game. And then people, I do a few videos and people will come back and say, well, you shouldn't be looking at it that way or whatever. I'm like, well, I mean, anything that somebody puts thousands of dollars into, you would, like I said a few minutes ago, you would hope that you could try to make some money back out of that, right? So either way, I do feel that the SPS going away is a big hit. Now, how much more we make per battle, per win, that remains to be seen. Obviously, I think that a lot of that pool will go to the people on the higher end who actually are in the leaderboard, the only leaderboard that remains, right? So we'll see. And the rearrangement of And this is another interesting point on this same topic, the rearrangement of all of the pools that is happening, that is leading to all of the all of the proposals lately, right? I completely agree with that. And I agree with the point that the pools, we've went for years, right? And people have provided liquidity to these pools and earned the money that they were supposed to earn, right? But at a certain point, you have to step back and you have to examine what's working, what's being used, what's not being used, and the value we are getting out of those liquidity pools. So for instance, there's a lot of these liquidity pools they put proposals up on that just aren't being used. And should we be paying as a game, as a DAO, should we be paying rewards when it's proven over a couple years, 2 or 3 years, that nobody's using those pools or whatever? So my point there is, and it dovetails into what we were talking about before, the fact that I agree with rearranging these pools and pulling out of some of the pools, and those in certain occasions on certain proposals just dump back into the main pool when we're pulling back from those pools, and then that makes the overall pool that we pull from, whether you are in modern or wild, bigger, right? So there's a lot of wheels in action here. So let's see what everybody's saying. KGM says, I never got that beta pack. His in-game name is KGM Jam. Thanks for trying, though. Whatever that's about, not sure. Ventura says, hello. Welcome, Ventura. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate your time. Gladdy16 says, I was always proud to hit gold with a bronze silver deck and getting some gamified rewards. The thing is, without chess and daily focus, I am not sure I will have the motivation to play as regular. I'm sure a lot of people are in that situation. After every major game change, there is a rebalancing of sorts. And by that, I mean that after every major game change, people have to look at what's happening new after the change, right? And examine how they are going to approach the game moving forward with the new rules, quote unquote, in place. And this has kind of been a constant because this game has been massive changes happen to the game every several months, right? There was a lag period there, last fall where we had a lot of major releases. And we had major releases as far as card packs and stuff like that. But as far as big game changes, nothing happened for several months. But when I've been playing about 3 years now, and every 6-8 months or something like that, it seems to me that a major change happens. And after that, you have to step back and you have to look at, or I'll just talk about what I do because I can't infer that other people do this, but I see it on a bigger extent. That I step back and I look at the new rule changes. Okay, so how does this affect me? Okay, how do these new rule changes affect me? And try to take into account how much money I'm spending at the time and what exactly I'm doing in the game, because there's so many different things you can do in this game. So I'll give you an example. There are some people on here that play heavily for ranked and things like that and really play modern, and to that extent I'm the exact opposite. I use Archmage Bot in wild just so that I can keep my account going and keep drawing off of my investment, right? But I've got a big investment in land. And at this point, I've got a pretty decent land investment in SPS going as well, because lately, since the cost of SPS has come down, I have been buying packets of SPS on a kind of like a DCA type idea. I will be guilty as charged of buying multiple times this week Over the last few weeks, I've only been buying 1 packet a week. But this week, when it started going down to 2, I think I bought on Monday and I bought on Wednesday. So I bought multiple SPS. Anyway, my point is you have to step back and look at what you're doing in the game. And to me, I try to look at what's bringing me the most money or what could give me the most value at that point in time, right? And presently, it's really, and this is not investment advice, right? Okay, so let's flash back. When the game first crossed over into needing SPS to get your boost, right, for your play, I was sitting at about 10,000 SPS staked, because up to that point there wasn't a whole lot of need. The focus was more on buying cards to boost my deck, right? After that, I'm like, well, I better go ahead and get some more SPS. So over time, I've been gradually buying up SPS. And at this point, I'm almost to 50,000. I would like to make it to 100,000, but I'm not one of those guys that jumps in. I feel safer DCAing, buying a little bit per week than I do going in for one massive lump sum and just like betting the farm on one lump sum, right? But I guess my whole idea is that every time a major change happens in the game, you have to step back and you have to take account of what you're actually doing in the game, where you're putting money, where you're drawing value from the game. Because, like I said, there's multiple ways to draw value from the game, and then come up with a plan. Because what was a good plan up to a major change might not necessarily be a good plan after that change. And like I said, a lot of it's a gamble. A lot of it's a guess. A lot of the time you've got to take as many facts you have at hand at your fingertips and make the best guess you can. Look where everybody else is going. Look where you draw value from. Look where you enjoy. You might be a person that really enjoys getting into the game and playing those card games on a daily basis. More power to you. To me, if I had to switch over in Modern right now, it would just be frustrating. I know myself. I would probably end up beating my head on the table because I'm not an above average player. I would probably call myself an average player, maybe. And I would probably, even though I've got a gold ranked deck, I would probably be doing good to even get into gold in Modern. I'd probably be sitting in silver, beating my head against the table. But that's just me, and everybody's different, right? So I like the fact that we've got land coming up. Yeah, or land 2.0 rather. The daily claim, it's just kind of a routine thing. I haven't bought anything new in as far as land goes. A couple weeks ago, I upgraded one of my common totems to a rare totem. That's about it. Everything's going steadily. I'm averaged out, but I'm looking forward to preparing for 2.0. I enjoy that part. Let's see what everybody's saying. KGM mentions that he will be making a new video today, as he usually does. He usually does 1 or 2 videos per day on what he's doing, what he's up to. So I always try and catch those. Ike says, you're welcome. BD got it in front of me, and I went in big as I love the returns. I don't know exactly what they're talking about. Hi, Ike. Sorry, it was my Hive wallet. Okay, they're just talking. They're talking about some game. What game are you guys talking about, Ike and KGM? There's so many games I've lost track. Oh, dCrops. They're talking about dCrops. Yeah, I'm still in dCrops. In fact, I made a major harvest last night, and then I used a bunch of random seeds to pull those back up. If you haven't watched my video, you should, on the use of, not specifically on random seeds, but I'm enjoying it, right? And recently I also got an apple tree. Obviously that will come down next season. I'll be able to use my apple tree, and then the olive trees in the spring. So that's my major changes this last few weeks. Let's see. Ike says he's interested in dCrops and he's liking the number so far. Gladdy16 says, I'm a casual player and spend about 15 to 20 US dollars per month. Possibly I will change to invest more into tokens and later maybe into land. Okay, so that is a good point there. Referring back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago, I've had to step back and think about what I'm doing in the game lately. And some of it, like buying dragon cards, is just because I like I like card games and stuff like that. And it's just something like that. But another point, that I had to think about was mental fog here. Where do I want to go? And basically, after thinking about it for several days, I just really started thinking that SPS, to me, at this point in time, just represents a good buying opportunity. Once again, not financial advice, but we can see that earlier this year, I'm just reloading it. Let's do 1 month out. So earlier this year, you can see it hit some really nice highs. Let's look at it from a 1 year perspective. It is down, but SPS is still not as down as far as it was last fall and in the holiday season, right? As December came in and the new card pack release came out, it started ticking up, right? So we are down, but we're not down as far as we have been. And if you look at it all, we're still way down. Obviously, any token, pumps and dumps at the very beginning. But to me, when I step back and I look at the value in game, you can buy cards, you can buy land, you can buy various types of packs, you can invest in moon cards, you can invest in the new other nightmare packs, that kind of thing. There's so many things to do. But at the heart of it, buying SPS is not complicated. You need more SPS. First of all, I think a lot of us have become in the situation where you're playing and you've moved up higher than you were in the past because we don't have those artificial ceilings we can hit anymore. We can't stay within bronze, silver, gold. Now, one way or the other, like my main account here, I had been staying in gold because, frankly, my account is a gold account. Okay, I've got level 6 rare summoners. I've got level 3 legendary summoners. It was spec'd out, and I was happy with it. They're in gold. Now, previous to the bot ban going into place, Archmage was able to take my account into diamond quite frequently, and it worked well there. But when I switched over to Wild, I knew I wasn't going to be as competitive because my deck is not. It's mostly Chaos Legion and things of that nature, that kind of setup. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to fight in Diamond in Wild. However, a lot of things have changed, and the new changes have been in place, and I've not been able to limit myself into gold. So I do find that Archmage is playing my deck up into Diamond, but one of those side effects is that the boost is your boost level goes down. So with my amount of SPS staked, I was up to 10 boost in gold. Now I'm down to 7.2 in Diamond 2. So my takeaway here is that I think that if you're in Splinterlands for the long haul, okay, even for the short haul, there can be a lot of arguments saying here, you are getting almost 14%, 13.75 APR on investing, on staking SPS rather, right? Okay. And then the side effect is if you're playing, your boost goes up. Okay. So my recent investments in SPS have helped me twofold. Okay, so I'm drawing more daily SPS as far as claiming and be able to roll that in. I do keep a certain amount liquid in case I want to go into another game and do something else, buy a pack here or there, go over to dCrops and buy seed or something like that. I do keep a certain amount liquid, but most of it goes rolled into my staked. And like I said, my next goal is to hit 50,000, which for some of you may be on the low end. For some of you, it may be a lot higher than what you have. But we all hit the spectrum somewhere, right? But my main point here is I think when you're looking at the game, I think that if you're fully invested in the game and you're here for the long haul, I don't think you can go wrong with just buying up some SPS here and there and going at it, because you're going to keep rolling that over. Is it fun? I mean, I don't know. It's just a daily claim and reinvest, right? It doesn't have anything to do with the cards other than drawing more boost off of what you actually play on a daily basis and a season basis. So to me, I decided to just start going into more SPS. Okay, I am buying a card here or there. We might go in and buy a dragon card today like we did last week. Before the end of the show, but SPS is my main thing there, so that's how I'm moving forward. Elliot's going off to a lunch date, no cell phones at the table. See you all in 2 weeks. Thank you for the content. Quite welcome. Yeah, I like lunches and dinners where people just don't use their phone. Leave them in your pocket. Just talk to the person in people or person in front of you. Be present. Just on a sidetrack, because a lot of us do this with the phone, is you're out, you're about, you're with your family, with your little ones, and you're at an event and you're constantly taking pictures on your phone or whatever. There's a certain amount that can be said to just being in the moment and being present. Okay, that's just a sidetrack there. Let's see here. The People's Guild's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Long time no see. Ike says, time to buy land at these prices. You know, I'm guilty. I haven't checked land in a while. Let's go over and jump in. I was over here looking at what dragons I wanted to buy. I was really heavily looking at that diamond dragon. Let's look at the land market and see where it's at. $24. Mostly bogs on the low end there. Frankly, if I were to buy land right now, if I were to buy another plot of land, I'm at 12 plots. I would probably concentrate on a plot of land that would be possible to grow grain on. That's just my look at it. This is interesting. This is one of the later regions. But yeah, 24, 25, 26. Here's one even at 25, almost $26 for with building in the box. Rustdale, Carmarthen. A lot of Environ. It looks like this guy bought a bunch in Environ and then is dumping the commons. Wow, look at all that. Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel good at 25. At 12. And everybody looks at it differently, but I'm staked out pretty well for 12. And I'm kind of, kind of parched due to the cold medication I'm taking. I'm kind of in holding pattern, because I see, and I've done videos on the preparations and the changes and the various investments that are going to be involved in Land 2.0. And I don't want to say I'm hesitant, because you all know that I've done a lot of coverage of the land game, and I've got 12 plots. But there's going to be a lot of investment that's needed in Land 2.0 when you go in to build the various buildings. Okay. And I've done a number of videos on, you know, the possibilities of, you know, what will be needed to make the various items, and there's going to be so many different things you can get in and do in Land 2.0, but a lot of it is you're going to need a bunch of DEC, you're going to need a bunch of vouchers. Okay, I did buy up some vouchers recently. They're increasing the use case for vouchers lately, putting burn mechanisms and stuff, making them more useful for various things, right? Which is good, because the people that have the most vouchers are generally, people that bought in on Hive nodes, nodes, right? So I do really like the idea that they're going to put some manpower into getting the nodes up. I agree that I didn't buy a license, but my brother did. But there's a lot of people that were left hanging out, drying in the wind, after buying licenses. Yeah, they've been collecting SPS and they've been collecting vouchers, but vouchers have, I don't know, maybe up to about 4 months ago, been largely neglected. But I do agree, I do like the fact that they've put a lot of effort into giving vouchers more value lately. But my main point is you will need a fair amount of vouchers if you're in the land game in 2.0, because they'll be used for various things, mostly around the building of buildings, or should I say the building and then the leveling up of buildings. So I guess I'm in a holding pattern because I can foresee me needing a bunch of vouchers, a bunch of DEC, to build buildings once I decide. I'm in a pretty good situation as far as having kind of a variety of lands that can produce food and different other things. And we've discussed this before as far as I don't think there's going to be much as far as trying to be self-sufficient when 2.0 comes out. Some of the bigger guys are going to be able to do it, but if you're on the low end and you're producing something else, you're just going to have to buy grain. And I really think, like I've said before, I think it's going to come down to using the magical foods. But it's, I've thought about this through 100 different ways, and it's going to be difficult with the amount of people we've got invested in land. It's going to be difficult for there to be such a variety of the magical, because there's specific magical foods for every type of land, right? And some magical foods have overlap. They'll apply to multiple different types of land, but you're going to have to buy the magical food, because I think that it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot more cost effective than just using straight up grain. And that's the point of it, right? But my main thought process goes back to, how are we going to have this many people? How are we going to have enough people to produce all this magical food, right? And, we've talked about the numbers before. I don't really want to get deep in it, but I start thinking about that type of thing whenever we go into that area. Okay, so, it's a lot of big changes lately. Let's go here to, well, we talked about that. This last week saw the fall of, I guess the last week and a half, most coins have been falling. And I don't necessarily know the reason, but we see that Hive has picked up a little bit. All the coins have picked up over the last day or so, but they're still in this downward type trajectory. GLS is holding pretty good. Golem Overlord coin going up a little bit, but it's still down overall. Big changes in Splinter Forge if you play Splinter Forge. KGMJM says he picked up the VIP pass on Golem Overlord. Had to get that new background with the 5.5%. That is something that I didn't get. Let me go ahead and refresh. What he's talking about is they have a new, it's a subscription, basically what it is in Golem Overlord, they have passes, VIP, and the new one is the new VIP pass, and you can buy it for 1, 3, 6, 12 months and get a discount. But it offers a variety. I was thinking about making a video about it, but I didn't yet. It offers a variety of what boils down to quality of life changes. You can see here, but it's a subscription. I haven't dove in on it yet. Alex Toro's in the house. Welcome. Says for Liberty, and the People's Guild says nice. Some sweet quality of life stuff with the pass. I don't know exactly what Alex T is talking about. Give them a taste of democracy. Alex T, what are you talking about? Please don't bring anything. This really isn't a political broadcast, but Yasuka is in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. I am liking Immortal Creed, and I'm now rank Ebony. Nice. So the subscription to Golem Overlord does give you the 5.5 added shard claim multiplier. Yeah, the background, if you are playing Golem Overlord, the background is largely a lot of times overlooked, but it definitely helps, and it's one of the things that I have invested in the game. So I do have, as a standard, I do have a purple one, which is a 5.5% shard bonus. And then my other one is just, it's higher rarity, but it's just cosmetic. It does help on the background does definitely help on your shard claim. So if you're playing the game, it's definitely one of the good things to invest in as far as I'm concerned. So as far as Immortal Creed goes, let's jump over here, do a refresh. I still need to get my matches in before the reset. Now, I've been playing. I played the beta in Immortal Creed last year. It was in the middle of the year. Then they went live in December after testing and further work. I've been enjoying it. You can see where I am. I'm playing in silver. I would like to move up to gold, but I'm largely waiting on getting my immortals up. I do have enough cards to bring a lot of my equipment up into gold rank, but it's immortals are your largely your limiting factor in this game, because in Splinterlands you can get away with playing summoners that are a little bit lower level, but in Immortal Creed you can't get away with that, because there's usually 100 to 200 difference in health between the levels, and you just can't play an underleveled immortal. So Alex T is talking about Helldivers 2. I've seen it in the news, and I've seen it on various things on YouTube this week, but I haven't got into it, so I don't have any information on that. I've been playing a new Web3 game. Well, it's not new, but it was just released in the U.S. recently, and it just went blockchain specific. And I'm going to have a video on it. For those, this is kind of like a teaser. You all know that I love branching out and look at different Web3 games. This is kind of a teaser. You may all also know I'm a longtime gamer, and I started out in games like EverQuest 2, World of Warcraft. Spent a lot of my life in those games. And one of my ultimate type things that I would like to play is a Web3 game that is tokenized and has tokenomics, that is an MMORPG, okay? And I would like to see a really good game like that, okay? And that's one I'm playing now, and I'm still in the initial stages. It's not on Hive, so it is a different blockchain, but I wanted to get into it and start playing it for a while and get a good amount under my belt so I could give some some decent feedback on the game before I did a video on it. But that's a little bit tease, and you can look forward to that in the near future. But that's what I like, that kind of gaming. I don't necessarily want to. I think Splinterlands is a really good card game, and I've seen a number of other card games that are Web3 based, and I don't necessarily want to get into another card game. I want some game I can actually do some stuff in, right? So let's see here. People's Guild, LOL, Alex always stirring the pot. And the People's Guild also asks, are you playing on Steam? Alex T says, how dare you talk down liberty? The Ministry of Truth will hear of this. My son plays on Steam, and I'm playing on the PS5. Well, it's getting a lot of play as far as being out in the media, so I might have to look at it, though. KGM says, when do we get the colony airdrop for staking SPS? I don't exactly know. I've seen Aggie talk, comment. People are continue to ask him about it. The last statement I seen, he says within the next few weeks. I get the feeling that they are really just still working things out. So I don't know about the air when it stops. I'm set up for when it starts, though. If you have SPS staked, you'll be getting an airdrop, and also if you have GLS staked, you will be getting an airdrop. And there are different pools. I do feel, and this isn't investment advice, I do feel that we'll see that the GLS per like will draw more airdrop than SPS, just from the fact that there's much less GLS staked than SPS. So let's take a look at. I wanted to look at dragons. We did a thing last week where I bought a dragon card just for the sake of doing something, right? I really like. Let's look at the legendaries. Let's look at dragons. Now, I bought a Carnage Titan last week, and what I want to do is I want to buy at level 3 just for my deck to be able to use it. I do know that I only have one BCX of Chaos Dragon. No, Void Dragon. I only have one BCX of Void Dragon, so I'd need 5 more of this. I was also really looking at a Diamond Dragon, just because. Why? Let's look at. I want to look at the stats. Anybody have a Diamond Dragon? Does anybody use their Diamond Dragon very often? What's the usability of a Diamond Dragon? Other than being cool. You ever have a card, you'd be playing somebody in a match, and then they'll pull out a card that you're like, wow, what is that? I haven't seen that in quite a while. Let's look at Diamond Dragon, and I would be playing him at level 3. He has flying, which is obviously good. He has slow. He has cleanse. And he has last stand. So obviously the best choice here would be putting him in that last position. He would have shield. He's he's not quick, but he's not slow. He's right there in the middle, right? He has a nice amount of shield. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's catch up with chat while people are thinking about this. Ventura asks, guys, like the stream, we are 23, only 7 like. Oh, and KGM says, hit that like button. Yes, please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, I always post the list of other YouTubers who cover Splinterlands in the show notes for my different videos. Please go out and frequent these guys and like and subscribe on their channel. And remember to leave a comment. It can just be something about the video or something or other. But the whole goal here is to go ahead and bring the topic of Splinterlands more towards the top of get it out in YouTube more. So that helps out. I do agree this week, one step is that I came above 600. So that's a nice thing. Moving in the right direction. I appreciate everything. So let's see. So Alex T is still talking about Helldivers 2. Yeah, I've seen a lot on the coverage on social media lately. I might have to check it out. Alex T says, it's legit. It's fun, but I can see it getting old quickly. It's like Starship Troops, the game that they got bots you can kill too. Y'all would love that part. I might have to check it out. You know me, I like all kinds of games. The People's Guild says, I love the Diamond Dragon. My Financial Journey says, but that 10 mana cost is a little big. Yeah, I can see that being concerning. And if you popped it out, I would estimate that you would have to pop that out. You would have to have I don't know. I would say probably, since it's going in the last slot, you'd have to have at least 50 mana, right? It would have to be at least a 45 mana, maybe. At least a 45, 50 mana game, right? But you got to admit, Diamond Dragon's cool. I like dragons. What can I say? Richard says, hi, Bronze Dragon. Welcome, Richard. Thanks for dropping by. People's Guild. Dragon plus Death, Nightmare, Leer of the Dark, Diamond Dragon, and a Blind is a lot of fun. Interesting. People's Guild says, yeah, man, thanks for always shouting out the other channels. I've found a few brand new channels to follow. You're the man. I always wanted to be the man, you know. Sometimes being the man is good. Sometimes being the man is bad. Because if you're the man, then you can be responsible for a lot of things, right? But thanks. Yeah, I mean, all in all, it was KGM's idea, right? He started this idea, and I'm like, man, that's a good idea. Let me start too. And then some other people started picking it up. I think it's a good idea. I mean, at this point in time, Splinterlands, they're working towards it, getting some more advertisement out there. Obviously, he said that they have to work on the game and get it to the do several things as far as the player experience goes. And recently, this last couple of days, we've been talking about the mobile, which I still maintain. And you know, I don't play on mobile very often, partially because I'm getting old and my eyes are crap. But when I do need to jump on mobile and I play within the, I'm pulling it up here. Pull it within the Hive keychain browser. It's okay to use. I wouldn't want to sit there and have to play it, play all my battles on it. But if you need to get into the game and do something, it's okay to use. And it's better than nothing. And it's better using it on the browser than it was on the mobile app. But this is all leading towards actually getting some marketing out there, right? So my point is, we're trying to do what we can do to help out as kind of like on the marketing arm of Splinterlands. Somebody once said, I forget who it was, P.T. Barnum or somebody once said that there's no bad publicity. Good, bad, it's all publicity, right? So do I agree with everything they do on the team? No. Am I one of their favorite casters? No, definitely not, because I've been known to get a little bit salty in the past, right? But it's all good advertisement, right? I mean, just getting the name Splinterlands out there and up towards the top of the YouTube algorithm as much as possible can only benefit us, the game as a whole. So My Financial Journey says, just ran a battle in Modern, got my Crash Wonderford up to speed of 16 with a blind. Good luck touching that. That's hilarious. I love Crash. I just wish that I had come up with as good a combination as you must have come up with. I also frequently use Crash in Splinter Forge, just due to that speed. Love it. My beard is sticking on my microphone. Richard says, are you buying cards for land at the moment? Prices have dropped recently. I have not bought cards for land recently. I have most of my land staked out with max gold foil commons. I may go ahead and take a look at it now that you brought it up, though. But I think that I'm going to Let's do this. Let's do a refresh here. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy a Diamond Dragon. Why not? Unless somebody's got a better card here. Between, like, say, Diamond Dragon, Void Dragon, Gloridax Magus. I do have one BCX of Robo Dragon Knight. He comes in handy once in a while. Gloridax Guardian. If anybody else thinks one of these other ones, do you think Void Dragon's a better buy than a Diamond Dragon? I mean, Diamond Dragon's just from the coolness factor, right? People's Guild says, I'm picking up some School of Rock vibes. Stick it to the man. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. The man is one of those statements that can be good or it can be bad. You know, for instance, you're the man, or I'm held down by the man. So, Alex T says, someone type everything he's saying. I'm in a super loud restaurant. I can't hear anything. Yeah, People's Guild says turn on CC. I don't know whether that works live or I'm not sure. I know that there's a number of people that subscribe to my channel that speak various languages. So I do know that you can turn it on and then have the auto translate button. So if you don't understand English, it'll translate it to whatever language. That's huge. And one of the big things in my work life, I'm really into AI now. So this auto conversion and not having to, as a YouTuber, manually do the translation is huge. You know, up to about a year or two ago, if you wanted to provide translation for your video to folks that didn't speak English primarily, then you had to manually do it, and it was a big headache. So, but this auto translation is huge. My Financial Journey says, fellow big beard guy here, totally understand. I'm getting caught on things. Yeah, you know what I hate is when you go to zip up your coat and you have to lift your head up like this. This is like this is bearded man problems 101. Let's see. The People's Guild says target emoji on the target. The Black Dragon is sweet, Bronze Dragon, just as niche but awesome. Let's take a look at the Black Dragon. Lightning Dragon, Red Dragon. Here it is, the Black Dragon. How much is a Black Dragon going for? I don't even have one BCX of him. That would be $60 at level 3. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I think I'll go ahead and go in on the Diamond Dragon for this week, though. Why not? So we see we got, well, we got a maxed out one for $38. Or, yeah, let's just go ahead and go with that. I think I got enough. Yeah, I have enough in the kitty to go ahead and buy that one. I had put 20 bucks in last week, and then I didn't spend the whole 20 bucks. I had bought like 4 or 5 BCX of Carnage Titan last week, and I had some left over. And then I put $20 in this week, and that's what I ended up with. So, okay, let's see here. Yeah, I'll end up getting Void Dragon, but I don't know. I guess since I picked up Carnage Titan last week, I wanted to pick up something a little bit different, and the Diamond Dragon was just cool. I don't know. So now let's do our combination. Let's burn those cards. Let my Archmage see if it can make use of it. People's Guild. Alex says, I like Mangus. Gladdy16 says, I like the Void Dragon. Quite cheap. Mana cost, flying, fast, and half mana damage. Nice. Yeah, I'll probably end up picking it up. I just wanted something out of the ordinary this week. And that Diamond Dragon looks cool. I might put him on some of my YouTube thumbnails. People's Guild says Void Dragon, one of the most underrated cards from Chaos Legion. Alex T says, I don't understand English. I can only type it. Completely understand. One of the big props I have, because during my life I've traveled a little bit when I was in the Navy, and I've worked with currently I work with teams all over the world. So mad props go out to people around the world that speak English as a second language as well as their primary language, and especially people who a lot of times live in Europe and things that have multiple language they learn. Mad props. Proper respect out to people that can understand and speak multiple languages. Let's see here. The People's Guild says, not sure of what works, but I'm collecting feedback on the new ranked. People's Guild says, also have 100 responses, and the team is clued in on the data. Yeah, I mean, you can only, part of the reason why I do these live streams is to get multiple people, different ideas. Everybody has a different take on the subject, right? And when you have a game like this, or, anything you're working, any project, it can only benefit from multiple inputs. The more input you have, the more input you have on a matter, that's how you can improve it, right? And the team, there are only a certain amount of people right there, and there's only a certain amount of testing you can do with something. Cards can be tested, fairly well, right? And I'm sure that they have a system in place to test new cards before they're put live. But when you make a major change, you can think it through for weeks and weeks on end, but when it goes live, there's always going to be something, some variable that you didn't think about, right? And that goes to the People's Guild's point of taking getting feedback on the new ranked. Alex says, I don't trust Google Forms. Well, there's something to that, yeah, we won't get off on that whole Google thing, but there's something on it. People's Guild, sign in with a burner email or respond with, yeah, that goes to the point of where I work. They'll send out like an HR survey or whatever, and it'll say, this is totally random, but your URL is specific to you, and you have to log in with your employee number. Random, right? People's Guild says, I turned off any info requests. Agreed, English is hard. Try to explain past perfect participles. Yeah, well, that's something even a primary English speaker would be hard. I've heard it said that English second to maybe Mandarin Chinese or something like that is one of the most difficult languages to learn, because we have so many words can mean so many different things, in English, and we won't get off on this tangent, but the words and the way sentences are constructed and everything, I can definitely see as a primary English speaker that how hard it would be to learn, so let's see here. Alex T says, I got this weird gap on my ceiling fan that won't correct itself. What do I do? It won't stay over the ceiling fan hole. Interesting. Well, this is not really a ceiling fan live stream, but that's a good question. I don't know, frankly. I have to think about that and get back to you. Alex T says, caulking, I forfeit any battle I get into with TPG. They're too good today. I don't think that link appeared, but I just sent it to you on Discord if you're interested. Okay, I'll take a look at that after the show, because we're coming to the bottom of the hour. Gladdy16, in comparison to French, I think learning English is easy, and I often got feedback that my native language, German, is harder to learn than French and English. Interesting. Like I said, I can't speak from experience. I do know a smattering of Spanish. I know just enough to get myself into trouble. When I was on a cruise in the Navy, we were going around South America. Obviously, a lot of South Americans speak Spanish. And so we learned a little bit of Spanish, and what I first off wanted to learn how to say was to order 2 large beers. And I do know how to walk in and say, dos grandes cerveza por favor. Past that, I can say hello, goodbye, good morning, good evening, things of that nature, but I'm not in, that's about the extent. But like a lot of people rightly point out, in Europe, it's like if you're in the United States, I mean, unless you live around or work with people who speak another language, English is it, right? But I can see if you live in another area of the world that, anyway, going down that rabbit hole, mad props to those people who speak multiple languages. Anyway, People's Guild says Chinese is literally caveman grammar. I cannot say because I haven't studied it. It is very interesting, though. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining me. I appreciate your time. Once again, I want to point out that next week, Easter weekend, there will not be a live stream. So if you show up here, I will not be here. I will be in Pittsburgh and probably eating some Easter candy. Either way, I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy. I hope the weather is sunny and better than it is here because it's a gray and rainy day. And I appreciate everybody for dropping by. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side. Wrong one. Wrong slide. There you go. Thanks, everybody.